All right. Welcome. Where are we at? 19th. August 19th. Schools are starting, football's starting, all of the summer activities. You probably have noticed or are feeling the market is doing a bit of a shift. The leveling off happened in the second, definitely this week. And with that, there's a change in the market. So where we're going today is pricing real estate in any market. Now, I'm addressing that because we're feeling two things right now. One is the cyclical nature of the real estate business. Every August, it starts the way that we just talked about. Who's been in the business for a while? And here, by the way, I'm hanging out with a gang in Shelby Township. Those people are just awesome, aren't they? You guys are supposed to say yes.
Woohoo!
All right. So have you felt that shift? You see, are we seeing an increase in inventory? Yes. Are we seeing an increase in days on market? Okay. That is for two reasons. There is the shift in regards to the market, the automatic shift that happens with the seasonality. A great word to be able to remember is cyclical, because you need to know this. Along with that, we need to be able to share the market statistics. Now, I'm going to make a shift here real quick, and I am going to switch over to something that Peter Coring showed you. Was that last week that we did that? Yeah, it was just last week. Peter said, here's how to be able to make your presentation by telling stories, or stories with numbers, is the way that he put it. Well, in the MLSs, you've got places where you can pull statistics. Now, this is InfoSparks, and I just put in here right now, let's see, no, I'm going to switch this to 10 years, and I want to see it on a monthly basis. So here we are for 10 years. But here's an interesting part. When I talk about cyclical, what do you notice by looking at this? And it's the same time every year. January is down. January.
Yes,
This is the average sale price. January. Check this. Homes for sale.
I can't see your screen.
January, February. That's the slow time. But notice also, when does it start to slow?
Darwin, share your screen. We
Every
can't see it.
year. It's cyclical. So we need to know this, and we need to be able to educate our sellers of all of this. Looking at closed sales should give us the same thing. Let me get rid of this so that. Okay, closed sales. Notice what it is? July and on down. Where does it hit the low? January. Where is a little lull? November. Why? Because nobody's doing anything into August.
Darwin, we can't see your screen.
Then they close.
Darwin.
Here's the reason. You've got to look at
Darwin,
the statistics, and I'm not a big stat number. I look at them so that I can go, oh, this is what's going on. This is a justification that when we begin to talk with sellers, guys, this is what we need to share with them. All right? So let me start going. And guys, take good notes is what I'm going to tell you today, because I'm going to give you more than what's on the slide. So there's a basic philosophy with what I'm going to be giving you. And it is this. Pricing property, you have to start with getting them to like you, trust you, and respect you. And there is a process that we follow to be able to make that happen. All right? So I need them to like me, trust me, respect me. Because if I can do that and I present properly, I can get the seller to actually tell me a realistic, competitive asking price. So that's that basic philosophy. Everything starts with this basic philosophy: like, trust, respect. I've got to do all the things necessary to be able to make that happen. And then once I have that, I do all the right things the seller will tell me a price, and you won't have to, because if you've been the longest in here, Marietta, have we ever gone out, and many of you out here with me in Zoom, have you ever gone out, told them a price or a range of value, and they always wanted to go higher than what it should be? Oh, happens all the time. Well, here's the thing. We're not going to tell them what they need to hear. So we're already giving a exaggerated price. And then on top of it, they want to go higher. We don't want to lose a listing, so we take a listing and we got an overpriced turkey. In the shifting market that we've got, guys, that's not going to be a good thing. So we need to make that shift. So here's the process. Now, everybody knows that you can do a print screen so you can capture my slides. Obviously, I'm recording. This will be out there on the HRC Agent Development channel. But we need to start with, I've set an appointment, now what? Prior to meeting with them, we pre-qualify. Karen, it looks like you're trying to say things, but you're not coming through. We're going to pre-qualify. I'll break that down a little bit further. We're going to deliver in advance a pre-listing package. Really, it's a presentation. We'll get there. We'll tour a home. We're going to ask them a whole lot of questions, repeating many of them because we've only talked to one party, most likely. We're going to follow a set script, because if I asked any of you, do you have a set process and verbiage that you use every time? Or if they pull you off, you would be able to come right back to it. Some of us do. I will tell you, most of us don't have a logical one, but you do have a presentation script. It may not be that good, okay? And then that script is your process. We're going to set a competitive, realistic asking price with them, but we're going to do it in such a way that they're going to tell us, we're going to direct their signature, and then we're going to handle any concerns. And then we're going to direct their signature again because we are anticipating they're going to have concerns, objections. All right? Now, pre-qualifying. There's a set number of questions that I'm going to go to. Okay? Oh, by the way, as a point of clarification, one-stop or two-stop process? One-stop or two-stop? I'm going to show you a one-stop. And the simplest part of it is this. Why a one-stop? Well, anything that I can do is turn the one-stop into a two-stop. I can't turn a two-stop into a one-stop. I have everything I need to be able to do a one-stop. Now, I'm not saying it is the way, but it's a great way to be able to do it. And unless if you set it up differently, that's what the seller's actually expecting. So, pre-qualifying, a whole lot of questions you're going to ask, such as, are you going to list with me? Yeah, you need to know. Is your plan to list with me? Matter of fact, let me make it simple. If what I say makes sense and you were to feel comfortable and confident I could sell your home, are you planning to list your home when I get together with you today? Is there anything wrong with asking that question? Take anybody that you've got. Most of us work with our sphere of influence. They called you up and said, hey, we're thinking of moving. We'd like to talk to you. Don't assume that means they want to list with you. You need to know. So I'm going to ask a few of the other questions come along with that as I'm setting up the appointment. Like, well, tell me what's going on. When are you wanting to be there? Why are you planning to do this? So let me ask you, when we get together, and this is my friend now, everything makes sense. You want me to take care of it for you? That's not a hard, that's just a clarifying question. I want to know what your intent is when we get together. Make sense? How about this? How much you want to list your home for? Well, I don't know. That's why you're coming out. Okay? Oh, I get it. So let me ask how much your home's like you're selling for? How much your home's like you're selling for? They know. Well, I know you don't know, but if you did know, what would you want to list it for? What are you hoping that you could get? That took the right time. How about this? What price would you like to get? Hey, Karen, can I have you mute? You're popping up there every now and then. You're quiet, but a little side noise is popping up there on you. Oops. Who else are you talking with? It could be as simple as Marietta put it. It could be the neighbors. Great. So what have they told you so far? Well, they're kind of interested in buying it. Oh, they told me that we should ask this because the Smiths, they did. But what else might I get? Why am I really asking? Who's my competition? I don't want to get surprised by that. How about this? The what's got you thinking of moving? What's got you moving? Why are we putting the home on the market? When are you planning to be there? Otherwise, all the questions focused around motivation and urgency. We need those two things beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay. That's good enough for right now. That's the pre-qualify. Now, by the way, you guys should have been hearing about HRC's business development series that's coming up. That's starting September 8th. I'm giving you a whole lot of what's coming up from that, but obviously we're going to take it into a great deal of more detail once we get into the class itself. So here's what we're really looking at. Pre-listing package. Because if I said, what is it a buyer, or excuse me, a seller, because that's what we're talking about. What does a seller want or need to know to decide whether or not you're the agent that they're going to hire? Well, I've given you the simplistic part of it here. It's the brand, it's the company. You, what are you going to do to sell my house? And all of the money. And notice I just put it as money. It's price, it's net. What's your compensation? What are my expenses? They're going to want or need to know. But the number one they want to know, what am I going to get? What's my net? Okay. Well, if that's what they need to know, give it to them in advance at a pre-listing package. You know, what's a simple thing to be able to send to them? It's the brand, company, you. What are you going to do to sell my house? What about the money? What are we going to, what could we send in one piece and give them all of that? Moxie present. Part of it. It's the money part. See, that's if you're thinking CMA, you haven't answered all their questions. You just told me what you think my house is worth. Do I like it? Probably not. Not if you're telling me the truth. So if we're only sending over a CMA, we haven't answered everything that they need to be able to make a decision. So it's about all of that. Now, when we get there, what is the primary thing that a seller is going to want to know? What do they want to talk about? The money. That's what they want to know. More than anything else. Matter of fact, have they pretty much made a decision already? Yeah. And again, even if this is your sphere of influence, it becomes that much easier. If this is somebody who's a stranger, but they were referred to you, this is that much easier. If you're in competition, you're probably going to have to handle that many more concerns, objections. Okay. But you're going to get there. You're going to walk through the property. I say walk through the property quickly. Don't make any recommendations. That's what you get paid for. If you do, make them minimal. Don't do anything that you just go, yeah, do that. Somebody else can walk in and go, oh, you don't have to do that. That's a lot of money. Don't do that. Did they want to do it? No. That's what they told them, something they wanted to hear, not what they needed to hear. Don't give away what you get paid for. Staging and preparation of the property is part of what you do. It's part of what you get paid for, part of what you do to earn your money. Okay. Now, from there, we know that what we do is research. Research comes into pricing of property, selection of comparables, right? And what it says behind, for you guys, KISS. And everybody knows what the KISS principle is, right? What is it? Keep it simple. Salesperson. All right. Everybody seeing my pricing, research, comparables, KISS? And I think what we were talking about was we got everything in as far as what makes a property comparable is, again, location, style or architecture, the size, the floor plan is what we're looking at for that. So those would be our key areas that we're looking for. Now, once we have that, I want you to catch, matter of fact, before I go ahead, notice that expireds, I put equals OHT. You know what that means? Objection handling techniques. Expireds are not an indication as to the value. They are an indication as to what you shouldn't ask. It is a list that you don't want to end up on. Okay, but we're not handling objections today. So now we're going to keep this really, really simple. We are sitting at a kitchen table. Now, if I can't get the kitchen table, I'm going to the dining room table. I don't want to meet in the living room or anywhere else where nobody can see my presentation materials. Okay, we want to sit together. What I'm going to do and understand is that this appointment, this presentation, is to answer all of the questions that they have. It's to address all the problems that they have, any of the concerns that they have. That's my presentation. The questions I asked earlier were to find out what it's going to take for them to be able to make a decision on price, whether or not to move, and who they select. That is my presentation. So we're going to keep it simple from that point. Now, I'm going to encourage you to take part in the HRC Business Development Series. But I want you to know that when I first start out, we tour the home, we don't give them any information. It's what I get paid to do. So I'm not going to give them too many opinions on what I would and what I wouldn't, what they should, what they shouldn't. Unless if I have an agreement pretty much that they're already going to list with me. Okay. From there, I start the whole thing this way. And I start with clarifying questions, preliminaries. First one that I'm going to start with really is, do you absolutely have to sell? Do I put that? Yeah. I want you to see, we pre-qualified. They've reviewed that package of information, your pre-listing package. So they already know about the brand, company, you, what you do to sell homes, and you've even put all the information about comparable properties in there. Based upon their price, they told me. Okay? There's nothing they can throw out there. So we're going to answer all their questions. We're going to handle all the problems, address their concerns. And the reminder again is that they have all of this information already in there. So I'm going to start with these three questions. Are you absolutely selling? Yes. Will you price it to sell? Yes. Do you want me to handle it? Yes. Let me throw. Thank you. Danette hit it. You couldn't see what she did, but let me go. It was like this is basically what she did. Okay. I think you guys can see the pen and the paper. Hand them the pen and the paper and have them sign. There's nothing to do. They already told you the price. Was the price agreeable? If so, there's nothing for us to present. They want you to sell it. There's nothing to present. They're absolutely selling. There's nothing to present. And I want you to picture this. All right, great. So you want me to handle it. You're going to price it at the price we agreed upon, and it's ready to go. Yes. Well, then let me make my 50-page presentation to you now. We wouldn't do that, right? You'd be shocked at how often we're probably doing something like that. But if we did all the right things in advance, we wouldn't have to do that. So they say, well, you know, we really want to know what you think about the price. Because did I give them a price? I haven't given them a price. I sent them all the comparables, but I didn't give them a price. I might even have given them a long, wide range, but I didn't give them a price. So the first thing we're going to do is to educate how to price property, real estate property. And I'm going to start with this little qualifying question. No problem, I can appreciate it, and price is important, isn't it? And knowing that you're willing to price it properly and not wanting to leave it on the market for an extended period of time, let me ask you this. As long as we were to agree on the right price and terms, I assume then that you're ready to list your home with me if we could do that. Is that correct? Okay, and you see what I'm doing? I'm leading them, aren't I? Because what they've just told me through those three questions is, we want to sell, we're open to listing with you, but we need to talk about that price. Okay? I'm going to pull out my comparables. These homes are like yours. Now, if I had to stretch a little bit because I'm out in the country and I got an 1880s home that I'm listing, might be a little bit difficult to find comparable properties, right? And that's hard when you get into that, but think of it this way. Drop back and punt. No, I'm just kidding. If somebody were going to look at buying that home, what else would they look at? That's keeping it simple. They're going to look at your home that you have as a subject property. What else are they going to look at? That could be there. Either way, I'm going to say, these are the closest comparable to your unique home. Right? That wouldn't offend you. These are the closest comparable to your unique home. And then I'm going to point out a few things. Do you know this home? Now, if these are the actives, which is what I'm going to review first, I'm going to say, I took the time to see this first. If they're in a neighborhood, do you know this home? Yeah. Have you been inside? No. I have. I just came from there. Has that just added credibility to you? Have any of the other agents done that? One more for you, okay? I review them with the basics. Look at the bedrooms, the baths, see the square footage. Yeah, this has got the finished basement also, the 2-car garage. Basically the same home as yours. And then I ask, would you say that your home is worth more, the same, or less than this home? Now, when they do that, and what I'm trying to get you to see, we've discovered that if we'll actually print out a single page and go, see here, 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 would you say yours is worth more, same, or less? And they go, oh, mine's worth more than that. Take that one, put it in a pile. Here's the next one. Would you say yours is worth more, same, or less? Well, mine's about the same. Okay. Here's the next one. Would you say yours more, less, or same? Well, it's probably less. And I do that with my 6 to 10 comparable properties. Sold and active. And the term that we use for active is competition. Okay? So guys, I want you to picture that now. There's 3 piles. Mine is worth more, mine is worth about the same, mine is worth less. They've said that. So now when I'm all set, make sure I got myself, yep. What price do you believe we should ask so that someone makes an offer on your house, decides to buy your house versus buying a competition? Yep, that's what we do. My lip has an indentation because years ago I learned I ask a question and I see them squirming, and I hate to see people squirm like that. I would start to talk. Did I get an answer? Bite your lip. Bite your lip and just, yeah, did that? What do you think, Marianne? They may go, I don't know, Darwin, what do you think? Count on it. Here's what I do. Well, listen, my opinion doesn't really matter. Does it? So here's what you've told me. Your house is worth more than these. It's worth less than these, but it's somewhere around these. So what you're telling me is you should be pricing it somewhere around, and I'm doing this. I've showed them, they're there on the table, and that's why we print those out, my 6 to 10 comparables, because now I have 3 distinct piles. You said more than this, less than this, but somewhere around here. Well, yeah, I guess we did. So here's what I know. You don't want to price it any more than this. You want to price it at least this, but you should be somewhere around this. You'd be shocked how often they'll say, well, what do you think about? And then you do this. We can do that. What if they could say, I want to go up to the top of it? We can do that. My only concern is when did you want to be in Texas and get to those grandkids? I'm going back to the motivation and the urgency. I just stated the motivation. You clarify for me the urgency. See, if you want to price it up toward the top of the range, well, here's these 2 properties that are available for somebody else to purchase. You're going to be priced $10,000 higher. But you yourself said that you're worth about the same as those 2. So what would be likely to happen if you were a buyer? Would you buy your home or would you buy these? You see how it's easy, but we got to have a conversation. We can't be afraid to have the conversation. And the only way it will work is if I've done everything right that I've done, step 1, step 2, step 3, and I've worked the process that I've asked all the right questions, the pre-qualifying is in there, and then my presentation of the comparables is done correctly. So it's more, same, or less. And they've now put those in the piles. And now I can point that. So here's what we know. You're worth at least this is what we should go at. Probably less than these, but right around here should be where our asking price is at. Wouldn't you agree? So what price do you believe we should ask to get somebody to buy your home before they would go to the competition? Easy? Let me move toward the wrap up. Here's what we're going to do. All the paperwork was complete. If I agreed to the price that I asked them when I pre-qualified them, I could have even already have had that on the paperwork. Well, let's say I left that blank. We've now got an agreeable price. I write it in. I turn it around and I review. Here's the price we just agreed upon. This is the length of the listing. Here's the compensation. You'll notice that that's at 6, and I'm going to say that we offer 3% to a listing broker. Are you familiar with how much that or how that works? Okay, well, here's what we're. And by the way, do you want me to cover one of these paragraphs in detail? there's one I'm going to ask. And let me just confirm you are both United States citizens. Guys, you need to know that it is not a racist issue. That deals with FERPTA. Houses 300,000 plus. You're going to have a major issue at the time of closing if you don't know that they are not United States citizens. Okay? Do you have any questions? And then I do and I do not. Now, yes, I say hand them the pen and the paper, direct their signature, and then you do this. I hope what you can see is that I'm actually just putting everything away. I'm gathering, I'm packing up. I am not looking at them. Some of you are too nice, or the logical part gets into us. And we go, looks like I haven't answered all their information. I haven't got all their questions. They need more info. You can't do that. Just let them do it. And by the way, here's what they do. And then one of them will take the pen and sign. But put it into their hand. By the way, I'm giving you a definite technique. Hand, point. If I have Mr. and Mrs. Seller, they're sitting, I'm here, the two of them are here. I put the paper in between the two of them. I put the pen in between the two of them. One of them will take it. I'm pointing and handing the pen. I don't care who signs first. Absolute definite technique. And by the way, the difference between a good agent and a great agent is their skill, their ability to be able to exercise the technique. It's not necessarily the knowledge. You now know exactly what to do. You just got to go do it. Tough part is doing it. And I always liken it professional basketball player. Do they practice even though they're playing 5 games during the week? Do they practice before, after? How much do you practice as a professional and how much do you get paid? So guys, I say thank you. Let me open it up and just see if you have any questions about any of this. Anyone? Houston? Everybody's that good? I made it that simple. So if here's what I'll take the moment then to do this. If you are new to the business, then you need to mark off starting September 8th, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, from 1 to 2:30. It's for the HRC Business Development Series. We're going to take it from beginning to end. The sessions, again, are an hour and a half via Zoom. Multiple different, what I call SMEs. Everybody know what a SME is? Subject matter experts. So you're going to have myself presenting, Alex Peck will be presenting, Steve Pouliot, let's see, who else do I got? Peter Toring, Holly. I've got like 7 or 8 individuals who are going to be presenting. We're going to take you from the very beginning in orientation to HRC to the very end of what are all the tools that you need to know that are out there. Focus is on lead generation, business development. Moving to how do I work with sellers? How do I work with buyers? If you have done less than 4 transactions, frankly, I believe that you should be in it also. If you want to increase your business and get at least 1 more deal every year, let me rephrase that, 1 more deal every quarter, I'd jump in on this. Now, the cost to this, I wish I had a visual, but it's nothing. It is a benefit you have of belonging. So it is a full course of education. Skill building will come in different ways and likely to be face-to-face. And we will move to 3 or 4 different areas, depending upon the numbers that we have that want to move forward with something like that, where we now take what you learned in the classroom and build upon the skill. But for now, that series starts September 8th. It will repeat. At the end of the class, we'll start right back with session 1. And that will go into, I think, the first week of December. So if you did happen to miss one, you would be able to make that up. Darwin, do I have to take all of them? I kind of like what you heard, what I heard today about pricing, and it was like you were covering the whole thing. You could take the seller sessions. That's 3 separate sessions, and you just say, hey, one of those 3 sessions, I'd like to take those 3 sessions. You can do that. All right. But check in your office. You've got flyers now. There's a registration link that you can click on to be able to take part in that course. But again, those would be the targets. But quite frankly, anybody can take part and gain from what we're going to teach you throughout these 17 sessions. Any questions at all, guys, on anything?
Is it gonna be a class now?
If you,
I mean, for notes during the class?
oh yeah, we'll actually have the full course book for you to participate in. So you'll print that out at home or in office, because again, it's going to be via Zoom. So once we get to September 8th, we'll actually email that to you along with a link on how to join in on Zoom and participate. Anyone else?
Hey, Darwin, will they be recorded?
Only for educational purposes of the SMEs. So I'm going to say jump in when you can. But just like we're getting that commitment for everybody to be a part of this and it's live, but then it's there. These are going to be a lot different because we're going to have more interaction back and forth. So it's not a lecture format as much as we have to do with the hot topic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, that looks like it's it. So we'll run it from there. You got any ideas, any topics, anything that is like, man, if you could address this, this is an important one for now. Let me know what those are. Forward them to me. Send me an email. Send me a text. Love to hear what you guys got. And yeah, gosh, we're approaching the end of the year. Adjust. And the biggest thing that you can do, start working the rock of your business, which is your sphere of influence. Go talk to those people today and continue to do that, because that's where you're going to start the rebuilding or building of your business if you happen to be brand new. Have a great one, guys. See you next week.
Thank you, Darwin.
You're welcome.